Fox Sports.
We are Blackboard. We are Sports Zone.
It's another beautiful August night for baseball in downtown Atlanta as we welcome you to Turner Field for Game 3 of our 4-game set between the visiting San Diego Padres and the homestanding Atlanta Braves. All year long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. Nice crowd filing in tonight. We're glad you're with us around Braves country. I'm Chip Carey with my partner Joe Simpson. The Braves and Padres have split the first 2 games of this series, and good pitching has been seen by both clubs. Braves shut out San Diego last night, and Paul Maholm makes his 3rd Braves start this evening.
And the first 2 have been very good. He took a loss in his first one, but got beat 3-2. And then a brilliant outing against the Mets when he fired a 3-hit shutout, his 4th career shutout. And he had everything working. Good sinker, good slider, good off-speed pitch with his changeup. Got some good defense turned behind him, too. But now, over his last 9 starts, he is 6-1 combined with the starts that he finished up with the Chicago Cubs, and an ERA that's barely over 1 combined for all of those numbers. So he's been outstanding. He'll be opposed tonight by a tough right-hander in Edinson Volquez, who gives up a batting average of .220. You see there, that's 4th best in the National League. However, his last 3 starts, he's 2-1, but an ERA over 13, so he's been a little lucky lately, too.
Let's hope his luck runs out in Game 3 of this series tonight in Atlanta. And if the Braves outfielders have anything to do with it, that indeed will be the case. The Braves outfield play has been much improved in this 2012 season. We'll break it down for you when we come right back to Turner Field after this. Of our 4-game series tonight from Turner Field. And Joe, what a difference a year makes for this Atlanta Braves outfield. Last year didn't have a full season of Michael Bourne, and both Martin Prado and Jason Hayward were nursing injuries. All 3 of those guys are having fantastic 2012 seasons.
And the great thing too is they like to be in there every day, Chip, so it's hard for Freddie Gonzalez to get him out of the lineup, and that's why they've racked up some really good numbers over the year. compared to the rest of the National League outfield core, they're third in average, third in on-base percentage, first in steals, with Jason and Michael leading the threesome there, and game-winning RBIs second. Assists tied for third with, again, Jason Hayward tops on the team in that category. But when it comes to defensive prowess, this team is the best in the National League. Now, I could give you a lot of gobbledygook stats from defensive standpoint, but this team, trust me, they're tops in the league defensively when it comes to saving runs, and you see some examples of it here with their good defensive work, both catching the ball and throwing out base runners. All three guys are doing a great job both at the plate and in the field, and the Braves, I don't think, would trade their threesome for anybody.
Alphabet soup for dinner not in the stat pack tonight, as the Braves outfielders are indeed having a terrific run, and they hope that continues in Game 3 tonight in support of Paul Maholm, who takes the ball for Atlanta. We'll get you to our starting lineups and our first pitch on this gorgeous night for baseball right after this. Tonight here in Atlanta, the Braves making their way to the field. You see Braves pitching coach Roger McDowell. The Braves pitching so far in this series has been outstanding, and he hopes that continues for Paul Maholm, who has tonight's starting assignment. Here's how the Padres line up for their skipper Bud Black. Chris Denorfia is the third different man to lead off for them in as many games here in Atlanta. Logan Forsythe, Chase Headley is at third base. Carlos Quentin back in as the cleanup man in left field. Yonder Alonso has stung the ball in the series. He's at first base with Cameron Maben, Everth Cabrera at shortstop, Nick Hundley behind the plate, and hard-throwing Edinson Volquez, the San Diego pitcher.
And there you see Paul Maholm on the mound for the Braves, 30 years old, 6'2", 220 out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He's in his 7th year. His last 9 games have been outstanding. That goes back to his time with the Cubs and includes 8 starts. And what the relief appearance was really just one of those deals where he got some work in right before the All-Star break that you really don't even count. But an excellent ERA and record since that time. His 4 keys to pitching success tonight. Number 1, Mixo Billy. He has been mixing and matching like crazy, going in and out, up and down, sliders, changeups. Wonderful off-speed assortment for Paul Maholm. And don't go west, young man. That's because his lifetime record against the National League West is just 5-22. So stick around here and stay in the East if you can. So hopefully tonight he'll get that record right there turned around against the National League West. And the way he's been pitching, no reason to think he won't.
Here's his defense. Braves outfield has been excellent. We raved about them earlier tonight. Juan Francisco gives Chipper Jones the evening off at third base. Brian McCann back in harness behind the plate for the third of 4 games head to head with the Padres here in Atlanta. We'll get our first look at Jordan Baker behind the plate. He'll be joined on the base paths by Ted Barrett at first, Brian Runge at second, and Marvin Hudson is the man at third. Perfect night, gentle breeze, winds out of the west at 7 miles an hour, 84 degrees here at Turner Field. And here is Chris Denorfia, the San Diego leadoff man, playing right field tonight. And he sports a .282 average for the year. One pitch. One ground ball out for Paul Maholm. That's a nice way to start the game.
That ball really scooted on him too off that hop from the grass.
As Joe mentioned, Maholm was simply brilliant last time out against the Mets. Threw 95 pitches in his 9 innings of 3-hit shutout baseball. He was aided by 2 double plays in the first 2 innings against the Mets in that game. And he got 2 first-inning runs as well.
That always helps. A little early support, a little something to work from, a little breathing room, and hopefully the same will be the case tonight.
Ground ball off the bat of Logan Forsythe. Giannis is short. Two ground ball outs, 2 quick outs for Chase Headley.
The Padres probably got their fill of this last night against Tim Hudson. Tons of ground ball outs. They'd like to get something they could elevate tonight. And this guy, when he gets that kind of pitch, has not missed them this year.
Tim with 10 ground ball outs in his 6 innings and a third last night. And he ran his record to a perfect 6-0 lifetime against San Diego, and he's also won his last 6 decisions. And ball to Headley evens the count 1-1.
There was a case where Headley's looking for something down, maybe a sinker, something running away from him, and he gets buzzed inside and can't lay off and can't catch up.
That was the Mix-O-Billy.
It was pretty much it.
And it worked again. I like it. 3 up, 3 down.
That was Mix-O-Jimmy.
It worked beautifully. 3 up, 3 down indeed as we head to the bottom of a scoreless first. Volquez, the 7 and 8 starter for San Diego. Bourne, Prado, and Hayward. That Atlanta outfield getting it done. 1, 2, and 3 in the lineup for the Braves. Freddie Freeman's at first. Dan Uggla hit a homer here yesterday. And as we said, Chipper Jones getting the night off for Juan Francisco in there at third base.
Edinson Volquez is on the mound for the Padres. 29 years old, 6 feet 225 out of the Dominican Republic. There are his home road splits. You see 4 and 3 on the road, but he's 3 and 0 over his last 6 road starts. Former Cincinnati Red came over in the Matt Latos deal.
A quick strike to Michael Bourne, who's 4 for 14 against him in his career. And make it 5 for 15 with a clean hit toward Cameron Maben in center field.
His 4 keys to pitching success tonight for Volquez. Number 1, rock and roll. He's been getting rocked, folks. His last 3 starts, he's actually 1 and 1. He got a no decision in his last start against Pittsburgh. 3 1/3, 7 hits, 6 runs, 4 walks, and tons of walks. He's walked 11 in his last 10 innings. So maybe the Braves are hoping to get some mistakes like the one he just made to Michael Bourne in an effort just to throw a strike, or work the count a little bit, get some base runners that way.
And Volquez, another guy in Major League Baseball that's had all kinds of first inning troubles too.
Yes.
So Martin Prado, the batter, with Bourne at first. A strike at the knees.
He throws hard. His fastball's anywhere from sometimes 92 to 96. Got a good curveball and a good changeup. 40 and 37 lifetime record.
Almost threw that one away at first base. Here's a question for you. We've talked a lot this series about how the San Diego offense has struggled all year long. Volquez is not a very highly supported starting pitcher. It's just a little over 3 runs per game as a starter. All those walks, is that a product of being behind 1-0 or ahead 1-0 day in and day out?
I know, because I think that's been consistent with his career. He's been a guy with a lot of strikeouts, but walks were kind of part of the package too. He was a 17-game winner in 2008 for the Reds. And then in 2009 had to undergo Tommy John surgery. Last year he was the Reds' opening day starter and eventually got sent back to AAA after just a horrible start, and spent part of the season in AAA after being their number 1 guy.
Balls, 2 strikes, so I'm sure San Diego's thinking, hey, big ballpark, change of scenery. Might revert back to those pre-Tommy John surgery numbers.
Well, again, it's a big arm and a good arm. It's just a matter of making better pitches in the strike zone.
And here we are. He was ahead 0-2. The count's now 3-2. Jason Hayward will follow Martin Prado, who's got a 3-game hitting streak and 6 hits in that stretch. Bourne's running. Bouncing ball up the middle, right at the shortstop, who is covering the bag. Bad break for Martin Prado as Everett Cabrera converts the easy 6-3 double play.
I don't know if you could get much luckier than this if you're the pitcher and the shortstop, just having him stand there on the bag waiting for the ball to come to him. It's like the pitcher threw it to Cabrera.
So 2 outs for Jason Hayward. Jason had the night off last night. Reed Johnson started in right field for the Braves. Jason's numbers sort of reflected maybe it was time for a day of rest. He's 8 for his last 38 with 13 strikeouts.
Volquez doesn't even really look like himself because he's got a short haircut. Last 3 or 4 years that we've seen him in the National League Central, he's always had real long dreadlocks and hard to keep his hat on.
Keeps twisting back and forth as if his back might be bothering him. Another full count. And there's one of those base on balls. Hayward's aboard with 2 outs. That's just where Freddie Freeman likes to hit.
He was very fortunate to get the double play ball. Kind of cut into this inning, but he was on a good roll. He went through a stretch recently of 6 starts where he went 3-0 with a 1.55 ERA, and then all of a sudden things went sour. In the last 3 starts, he's 1-1 with a 13.50 ERA.
And now Hayward a big lead at first with 2 outs. And ball 1 to Freddie Freeman. Dan Douglas, our Delta Airlines on deck batter. He's had a good month. Another half step off the first base bag for Jason as Freeman takes a called strike. Had a good pass at that pitch and fouled it straight back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
No trouble getting ahead in the count so far for Volquez.
Two.
Bud Black in his 6th year running the Padres.
And Freddie takes called 3rd strike. He thought it might have been up and away. Jordan Baker rings him up. We're into a 2nd inning scoreless. Some history in Seattle. That's Felix Hernandez. And that was the final pitch of the first perfect game in the history of the Seattle Mariners franchise.
That is actually the second no-hitter the Mariners have thrown this year. They had a combined no-hitter started by Kevin Millwood earlier this season, so they've had a couple of good things go their way, even though it has not been a good season for them.
Carlos Clinton swings the first pitch and hammers that toward left center field, and that's going to bounce off the fence. And Clinton will make his way to second as a rainbow throw back to the infield is caught by Paul Janosch, who takes a look out at Michael Bourne.
Guess it slipped out of his hand a little bit. He's even laughing about it. Boy, that had a lot of the plate, and Clinton squared it up. Now watch the throw. It slipped out of Michael's hand and went straight up.
He hit the cutoff, man.
Yeah.
Just took a little longer than he'd hoped. So Quentin at second for Yonder Alonso. And Joe, you're right about Seattle. They've seen a lot of great pitching feats in that ballpark. They've thrown a perfect game, and they've had one thrown against them at Safeco Field. It was Philip Humber of the White Sox, remember? He turned the trick earlier in this 2012 season. So what a moment for the Mariners, who won 1-0 today. Alonso moves up in the box as Maholm began his move to the plate.
Trying to get something a little up in the zone. And moving up in the box, hoping to get it before that change up or breaking ball dip down below the zone.
He stayed put that time and bounces to second. Good at bat for the young first baseman for the Padres. Quentin's at third, and that's the first out of the second. EarthSense programs from Georgia Power can help you save money, use energy more efficiently, and help the environment. Rebates are available to help you make efficiency upgrades around your home. For more information, go to georgiapower.com. Cameron Maben with a runner at third. Strike one. Little tapper. Maholm will throw a bullet to first, and Quentin holds at third, and that's the second out.
Nice play, and as a left-handed pitcher, he's able to come in and get himself in a position where he can see if the runner at third is going to try to come in to score. Turns his back on first base, and being advised by Brian McCann that there's no runner, so he was able to glove and fire it. Good play.
Now Everth Cabrera, the shortstop. Cabrera's a switch hitter. His better side's the left side as far as the batting average is concerned. As a right-hand hitter, he's hitting .182.
Balanced numbers on the homers and RBIs, although not a whole lot of them.
That's called searching for the silver lining, is it not?
It is.
One ball, one strike, 2 outs. And with a nice stop.
Nothing wrong with Cabrera's glove. He can pick it at shortstop. He's got great speed, perfect in stolen bases, 19 for 19. You just got to figure out a way to steal first more often.
He's still relatively young. He'll be 26 in November. As that pitch is taken low, 3 balls and a strike. And base on balls with 2 outs brings up catcher Nick Hundley, who's riding an 0 for 16 slide at the plate.
It's one of the impressive parts about the 3-hit shutout of the Mets. No walks for Maholm.
Rough here at the plate for Hundley, 160 average. One ball, no strikes.
At 160 average for Hundley is over 200 at bats too. He could commiserate with John Buck of the Marlins, who's having a similar type season.
Swing and a miss, evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike. We saw John Baker here last night. Hundley starting for the 2nd time in this series. We might see Yasmani Grandal when we head west and play the Padres out of Petco Park. Might be their catcher of the future. He's rehabbing in the minor leagues. And a ground ball to third. Francisco with a peg to Dan Uggla at second. And Maholm strands a pair of Padres in the top of our scoreless 2nd inning. By the Home Depot, by AT&T, by Blimpie, and by Sony Pictures Premium Rush. With Joe Simpson and Tom Hart, Chip Carey back with you at the ballpark. No score as we head to the bottom of the 2nd inning.
Yeah, he's sharing. Just took a little bite out of that before he offered it to someone else in the family. Somebody want to take this off my hands? That'll never come off.
Exactly right. Oh, yeah.
And look how much more he's got to go.
Enjoy the ride home, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, lean over here, Dad. Let me give you some of this.
Dan Uggla leads off the second for the Braves. Juan Francisco and Brian McCann to follow. He's on a nice run. Homered here in the 5th inning last night, his 14th long ball of the year. Three balls, no strikes. Well, Dan's batting average isn't what he would like it to be. He has been on base an awful lot. He's walked 70 times this year. That's more than any other player in the National League. Make it 71 as he leads off the second inning. Braves are excited to bring legendary Southern Rockers Leonard Skinner to Turner Field for a free post-game concert after the Saturday, September 1st game against the Philadelphia Phillies. Visit Braves.com/tickets or call 800-745-3000.
Volko has 138 innings coming into the start and only 111 hits allowed. That's a .220 average, and that's 4th best in the National League for opponents' batting average. But while he's not given up a lot of hits, he's given up a lot of walks. That's 86 now in 139 plus innings.
A lot of pitches, a lot of high stress pitches, and as we mentioned earlier, not a ton of run support for the San Diego pitcher.
Now facing a former teammate.
Juan's done a good job spelling Chipper Jones. In fact, Juan's 11 for his last 26 with 9 RBIs and a couple of homers. Rifle shot deep to right. That's over the head of Denorfia. Francisco on his way to second and slides in safely. The ball gets away, but not far enough for Dan Uggla to score. Second and third with nobody out.
I'm telling you, boy, when he squares one up, the ball jumps like that proverbial 1-iron. No chance at all for Denorfia. After he realized quickly it was going to be over his head. And then Juan had to really hustle to make it into second base because it was hit so hard.
So a great chance for the Braves to break through in this second inning. Brian McCann's the hitter. He's got 57 RBIs for the season. Nothing in 2. Looks like the Padres will concede a run for a ball hit up the middle here. Brian's got some work to do.
That had to hurt. Right off the top of the foot. Did get the shin guard, but might be a delayed reaction there on Hundley. Oh, that was knee. We got in between the hard plastic of that shin guard on the hinge.
Ground ball toward first. The throw's coming to the plate, and it's going to be in time to get Dan Uggla. So nice play at first by Alonso to throw out Dan at the plate. Francisco's at third, McCann's at first, and there's the first out.
With the infield back, I don't know if Dan froze and didn't get a good jump on this or not, but he was out by quite a margin, and it was sharply hit. But he's not in on the grass. He's few steps behind that. But if you're the base runner and you see the infield back, you know you're going on anything on the ground. I don't think Dan got a good jump on it. It cost him.
So Giannis becomes the key man in the inning. And looks at the ball low. 2 singles last night for Paul. 2 for 6 so far in the series. Volquez asks if the ball was low. It apparently was. 2-0.
Showed bunt. Would have been a safety squeeze with Francisco waiting to make sure the ball was on the ground, but not a pitch to bunt.
So another matchup of former Reds. This time it's Volquez versus Paul Giannis. Another former Cincinnatian standing at third base, Juan Francisco. Little pop toward third. Chase Headley's got that. And that's a big second out. It's up to Paul Maholm if the Braves are to break through in this second. Second and third with nobody out. Now is first and third with 2 outs and still no runs across. And Paul Maholm, 3 for 44 so far at the plate, is the hitter.
Stop. Volquez was a guy who, when he was coming back from his Tommy John surgery, returned to the Reds in 2010, late in the year after a lot of rehab. And they added him to the roster for their postseason series against Philadelphia, and he actually got the call to start game 1. Roy Halladay threw a no-hitter that day.
You did that game. That had to be an awful lot of fun to watch.
It was a wonderful night, but not for Edinson. He didn't get out of the, I think it was the 3rd inning.
Slow roller down the first base line. It is a foul ball. Home plate umpire Jordan Baker with the call.
Well, this will be a real good Houdini act here for Volquez if he can get out of this inning and retire the pitcher, thanks to a good play by his first baseman.
2-2. Make him throw another pitch or two, Paul.
Yeah, and hopefully something out away from him again where he can get the barrel out there in time.
Took a close pitch. Volquez wanted it. Now it's a full count.
Little reason to complain if you're Edinson Volquez and Bud Black as manager, as you saw there on Fox Tracks. Our first look at Jordan Baker behind the plate tonight, a rookie umpire.
Three-two pitch, and Maholm is struck out. And the Braves had a golden chance to score, slipped through their fingers. We head to the third inning, no score. Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Georgia Power, by Ram Trucks, and by Burger King. The Braves were able to clear the pitcher Paul Maholm on the lineup card in the second inning. San Diego does not have the same luxury as we start the third. Edinson Volquez will get things started and will be followed by Chris Denorfia and Logan Forsythe. Volquez 3 for 40 as a big league hitter this year. Ground ball back to the hill, and Maholm takes care of Volquez for the first out. The Delta Civil Rights Weekend is this weekend at Turner Field. Events include the Beacon Awards Luncheon presented by Belk and supported by Kia Saturday afternoon, and then the Delta Civil Rights game that night. Visit Braves.com/civil rights or call 800-745-3000 for tickets. We're expecting big crowds Saturday and Sunday for sure. Friday nights are always exciting too here at the ballpark, as as we'll get our second look at the Dodgers. A new look club after Ned Colletti reshaped that team at the trading deadline.
Sure had some good games with him out there early in the year. He's had a big rally in game 3 of that series, as I recall, on getaway day to win the series.
They got 3 in the 9th inning off Javi Guerra and Josh Lindblom. Braves couldn't solve Ted Lilly that night. And Johnny Venter's got the win in relief. Denorfia, wide throw at first. Did Freddie hold the bag? Yes, he did somehow.
I don't know how he did. I'm not sure Freddie felt like he did, because he really looked back at Ted Barrett hoping that I don't think he was on the bag. Might have had a spike touching it. That was close.
So 2 quick outs. Here's Forsythe. Seven ground ball outs and a strikeout for Paul Maholm so far tonight.
Giants didn't do the Braves any good today. Tim Lincecum lost his 13th game. Gave up 2 runs in the first inning. I think he threw about 40 pitches. Washington went on to win 6-4. What a tough year for Lincecum. 6-13 now, and a lot of first inning problems too.
It's been a lost year for him, that's for sure. Just think where the Giants would be in that Western race if Tim was having a Lincecum-like year.
Had a few other issues crop up in San Francisco today.
Yeah. Melky Cabrera suspended 50 games for performance-enhancing drug misuse. That's hammered down the left field line by Forsythe, and that ball is going to be fair and gone. Forsythe stopped in between first and second, but he'll take the tour with his 3rd home run, and San Diego has scored with 2 outs.
I mean, this shaved the wall and hit the screen on the foul pole. That's how close it was to staying in the park or going foul. It counts.
So 1-0 Padres. Chase Headley, the hitter, with 2 outs. Maholm struck him out his first time. Francisco at third, vacuums that up and throws across in time to retire the side. Logan Forsythe hits the screen down the left field line and gives the Padres an early 1-run lead. Move to the bottom of our third inning. It's time for our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Michael Bourne has 31 steals and 50 RBIs this year. Name the only Brave with a 40 or more stolen base and 60 or more RBI season.
Got a guy in mind.
You have that guy in mind, or you answer quickly, you're almost never wrong.
One of our colleagues wrong again. We just have to ride Ron right to the finish line.
2 balls and a strike to Bourne, who singled to start the game. Didn't mean to. And fouled away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ooh. Volquez thought that shaved a corner.
Tried a backdoor breaking ball here and didn't get the call. Target was down and in. And it stayed wide just enough.
Michael's down swinging. 3rd strikeout for Volquez. 1 away in the 3rd.
Got him anyway. But again, nowhere near the target. Target's down and away. Pitch was down and in. But it worked.
Base is clear for Martin Prado, who bounced into a double play in the 1st inning. And he takes a called strike. That one's up the middle as well, but perfectly placed. And no chance for a double play, obviously. And Martin has a 1-out single.
Exact same place, though. You're right. Went right over the bag. This one wasn't a bouncer, though. This was skimming through there. Three straight multi-hit games and on his way to perhaps another.
Number 34 hits for Prado. Second to Michael Bourne on the club. Here's Jason Hayward. He walked in the 1st. And a hot shot past 3rd. Henley was playing well off the line. And the runners will be at 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. When he does that, he's almost impossible to get out.
Well, then they don't know how to pitch him. But we always recognize the fact that Jason doesn't mind being pitched away at all because of those long arms, and did a nice job of going with that pitch. And here we are again with the Braves in a good scoring position, scoring opportunity, thanks to 2 of their outfielders.
Freddie Freeman took a called 3rd strike in the opening inning. Now bats with runners 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. Hundley will talk it over. Next RBI for Freddie Freeman will be a new big league high. He drove in 76 runs in 157 games last year. He's sitting on 76 now.
Sorry, Chip. You see the infield situation. They're playing back, and Alonso, who made that play an inning ago, he's not all the way back. He's about halfway, but you've got to have a good walking lead if you're the runner at third and be ready to go on the crack of the bat.
Volquez spears that. Run down between third and the plate. Prado will stay in long enough to get Hayward to third, and Freeman moves to second. Late throw there. And they're at second and third with 2 outs.
Good base running by Martin after getting hung out to dry here. Good play by Volquez to stab that. But now Martin's got to stay in the run down long enough to allow Jason to get to third and Freddie to get to second, so that you're in the same situation you were in. That's all he could do.
The putout scored 1-5-2. Hayward at third, Freeman at second. Now 2 outs for Dan Uggla. Saved a run, 1 ball, no strikes.
Munley's done that a couple of times. He's not hitting much, but he was doing a good job behind the plate. Watching Dan take batting practice the last couple of days, he's been hitting the ball real hard to right center field, and he's been hitting it deep to right center field in an effort to try to stay on the ball a little bit longer and stay on top of it.
Hey, nice stop. Wow, by Bud Black.
Blackie with some good hands over there. That's his glove hand.
Good play. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Got a base open, but a left-handed hitter on deck that he knows all too well in Juan Francisco, who just hit a lightning bolt double off of him last inning. Expect to see a fastball. Changeup.
And Dan fought it off nicely. Past 8 o'clock in the East. San Diego leads 1-0 on a Logan Forsythe solo home run right down the left field line. Atlanta with another chance to score in the third. But a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs coming to Dan Uggla. And he tomahawks that ball deep left. That ball is gone.
He didn't want to face Francisco with the bases loaded. And while he made a good pitch with the changeup that Dan fought off to stay alive, he tried to then come back at the fastball. And you're right, Dan got on top of it. Level swing, and it smoked out of here. A little vapor trail behind it.
Let's check in for the first time with Tom Hart.
All right, Chip, thanks, guys. Last night I talked to Dan Uggla about his home run and trying to hit his way out of his slump. One thing he told me, he said, I'm still a good enough hitter that I should be able to take advantage of pitchers' mistakes. And I ran into one tonight, but it feels good, and I feel like my swing is coming back. Certainly looks like it. I don't know if it was a mistake or not, but Dan certainly took advantage.
He did indeed, Tom, with his 15th home run. And despite that average in the two teens, Dan now's knocked in 62 runs.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a mistake there, Tom, because he put his best Sunday fastball in there to try to throw it by Dan, and Dan caught up to it. So good for Uggla to be able to catch up to it, and on a high plane too. We'll save that mistake for later.
One ball, two strikes. Well, it's been said a million times in this game, it's how you finish that people gauge your season. Dan Uggla is putting together a terrific August. Hopefully that'll carry on into September for the Braves. And a swing and a miss by Francisco retires the side. But Dan Uggla with a line drive home run with 2 outs in the inning. And just like that, the Braves enjoy their first lead of the night.
Braves have their first lead of the night. Hey everybody, Tom Hart, we want you to be a part of the show by using hashtag FSBraves on Twitter. Matt Diaz didn't use the hashtag, but we still love him, and he underwent surgery this morning, surgery on his hand that will keep him out the rest of the season. I traded some tweets with him. He said they were able to get in there, find a few things, and get that hand cleaned up and cleaned out. Certainly good thing that everybody in Braves country is keeping a watchful eye out for him. He's back home and recuperating, and certainly watching tonight, so get well soon, Matt. Chip?
Thank you, Tom. We echo that.
Absolutely.
And without any question, on a day where we had the Melky Cabrera story, the Felix Hernandez story, Matt Diaz's thumb is the big story in Braves country tonight.
Yeah, and hopefully it'll heal quickly. Get that scar tissue out of there. And whatever was left of that darn palm frond.
Carlos Quentin hit by an 0-2 pitch to start the San Diego fourth inning.
And he did everything he possibly could to get out of the way. Watch. Well, maybe not.
So here's Alonso. Quick strike. Our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot is this youngster in his last 2.5 weeks.
I think he's just beginning to feel his way as an everyday regular. Lefties, righties, doesn't matter. And beginning to feel or gaining the confidence he needs to show what he could do based on what he did in the minor leagues, and considered a top prospect for the Reds. He was expendable from the Reds standpoint because of Joey Votto.
Been looking for a first baseman with Adrian Gonzalez gone, and Anthony Rizzo, remember him? He's the man that went to the Chicago Cubs after his time with the Padres wasn't particularly successful in the big leagues. This kid looks like he's going to be a fixture at first for quite a long time, and that's certainly good news in San Diego.
Well, I think the Padres got a good piece for Rizzo too. Cashner and Andrew Cashner.
Andrew Cashner. Oh.
Boy, he's got a big arm. Throws hard. He's on the DL right now. He could be a big part of their pitching staff for years.
Maholm strikes out Alonso. Dropped down just a bit. That's his second strikeout of the game. Now Cameron Maben, the batter. Maben tapped back to the mound. 3-1 Atlanta. The Braves turn things around on a Dan Uggla 3-run homer. Talked last night about the new ownership for the Padres. The O'Malley family is in line to take over for the fans in San Diego. As a slow roller will die between third base and the plate. Infield hit for Cameron Maben. Nothing Atlanta could do about that. 2 on with 1 out.
Cameron Maben had that little tapper in front of the plate his first time up that froze a runner at third base, you might remember. And the bottom part of their order, the way it's constructed tonight, beginning with Maben, Cabrera, Hundley, and Volquez, not a real threat. They're combined 198 on the year, including the pitcher. So if you're going to have some base runners, this is where you want to be to try to get out of it.
Best way for the ball would be a ground ball at somebody, and a chance for a double play here for the Braves. And new ownership, a lot of new young players for San Diego. They're playing really good baseball since the middle of June right now. And I know how much you admire and respect the job Bud Black has done as the San Diego skipper.
He has, and they've kind of had during his tenure some up and down years where they've gone from not much to a real good season, playoff contenders, then to struggling. Like I said last night, real good season 2 years ago, and then fell off last year, and a tough year this year.
1-2 to Cabrera. So perhaps some stable ownership will allow the Padres to keep some of those players they've acquired, draft and develop some more homegrown talent, and become a force in the National League West again. Start play tonight, 12.5 games out of the lead. 3-2.
Back to Bud Black for just a second, and it really has to do with pitchers as managers. There just aren't that many, and with all due respect, there haven't been that many that have been successful as managers for whatever reasons. But the only one I could come up with in baseball outside of Bud was John Farrell in Toronto. So that's 2 out of 30 that are former pitchers, and he's been the skipper. This is his 6th year as a manager of the Padres, and I think it speaks to what a good job he's done, how patient he has been on some seasons that didn't go so well. But a really good pitching coach in his own right, knows pitching, knows how to teach pitching. And certainly an asset where that is concerned.
Was he not a protege of Mike Scioscia with the Angels?
He was
on
indeed.
His coaching staff.
Joe Madden was on that staff too at the time.
Pitch bounced off the plate, and that's in the foul ground. Cabrera stays alive.
If Dan Uggla hadn't just hit that 3-run homer, you'd probably see Bud Black send his runners 3-2 with Cabrera, but down 2, he's not as anxious to put him in motion for fear of a strikeout.
Instead gets a walk. And the Padres now have him loaded. Maholm's walked Cabrera twice in this game. Here is Nick Hundley. He's 0 for 1 tonight, 0 for his last 17.
And he's pretty much walked him on the same kind of the framework of the same pitches, trying to go in. And while he did get it to a full count, didn't seem to want to give him a chance to get the bat out there on anything away.
Strikeout or a double play would be just fine right here. Hundley's been doubled up 4 times this season. At the knees inside corner, 0-2.
It's kind of hard to figure how you can struggle this much if you're Nick Hundley, as he takes strike 2 here on a good pitch. He had 288 last year in 281 at bats. A career 255 hitter, which is 100 points higher than what he's hitting right now.
Oh, McCann held it there, didn't get the call. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You can see from Fox Tracks that the 2 teams are even now.
Yes, they are. A fly into the seats, foul, and still a 1-2 count.
Paul got away with 1 there. He left that pitch up.
He went around. You bet he did.
I think that's what he was hoping to get from Cabrera. You know, throwing that cutter down and in and see if he would chase or try to go over the top of it. And Cabrera didn't offer. Big strikeout.
Now Volquez bats with 2 on and 2 out. Mentioned a couple of times how the Padres got Volquez from Cincinnati. Know how the Reds got him? Josh Hamilton.
He was originally with the Rangers.
It was on December 21st, 2007.
Which in 2008 looked like a real good deal for both sides because Volquez went 17-6 for the Reds that next year.
And Maholm pitches out of a bases loaded 4th inning jam. Couple of big strikeouts when he needed them. In fact, 3 in the frame. Stake stand here at Turner Field, where the Braves enjoy a 3-1 lead. All season long, Braves baseball on Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price every day. Nice job by Paul Maholm to pitch out of trouble last inning. Let's see if the Braves can add to a 3-1 lead with Brian McCann starting off the 4th.
Good job by Maholm, but again he was in the right part of the order to get the outs he needed. It's kind of the look Dan had on his face right before he hit that 3-run homer.
You're going to throw that where?
Yeah.
Breaking ball freezes Brian McCann. Volquez has 6 strikeouts tonight. Pardon, 5 strikeouts for Volquez. If you can't come out to the game, then join Fox Sports South this Sunday at Twin Peaks and Buckhead for a viewing party. That's this Sunday at Twin Peaks and Buckhead to root on the Braves on FS South. The Braves will be hosting the Dodgers this weekend. Mike Minor and Chad Billingsley pitching in the series wrap up with Los Angeles. Won't see Clayton Kershaw.
That's a break.
And Paul Yanish hit in the back with that pitch is aboard with 1 out.
Well, apparently you never liked Paul when they were teammates. but I think it got him in a place that won't cause too much damage and a chance for Maholm to move him up.
And to do it without having to make contact. Wild pitch.
The hard part for Bud Black there in Bosley, their pitching coach, is knowing how good Volquez can be and how he is in different stretches during the season. The hard part is watching what happens to him sometimes. Like he's already got the 5 strikeouts, but he's kind of all over the place.
Ground ball toward third, and the throw back towards second. The throw to third is going to be late, and everybody's safe. Alonso, instead of taking the sure out at first, gambled and lost big time.
Yeah, I thought he made the right play, though, Chip. They had Giannis hung out to dry, and see, he's playing in. So when Giannis got hung up, Paul did the right thing. He went ahead and made a break for third base and somehow got under the tag. Good call. Marvin Hudson umpiring at third had it right. Paul Giannis did the right thing by not getting in a rundown, but making a commitment after he was hung out to dry to just go.
So that worked out beautifully for the Braves, who have runners at the corners with 1 out and Michael Bourne in the batter's box. Official scoring on that play by Paul Maholm, and Alonso was scored a hit.
Yeah, I don't understand that one. A fielder's choice would have been in order there, but there must be some specific ruling that applies to that kind of play.
Well, Maholm will be happy to take it. And he's at first. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Even with a double play situation here, they're going to play in because they know the difficulty in turning a double play on Michael Bourne. Another good change up there.
Michael held up. Next pitch for Volquez will be his 80th. Bouncing ball off the pitcher's glove. Great recovery by the second baseman Forsythe. But a run is in as Paul Giannis scores after being hit by a pitch. And the Braves take a 4-1 advantage.
This will be scored 1-4-3. And he might have been able to get to it. Talking about Forsythe, maybe to backhand it, but I don't know if he was going to have a play at the plate or not because Giannis was on the move. I know Volquez was upset for getting leather on it or for not coming up with it cleanly, more likely.
Bourne gets an RBI.
His 51st.
And now downstairs to Martin Prado, who singled his last time up. Prado now a 4-game hitting streak to 7 for his last 14.
best breaking balls he's thrown all night right there.
Took Jordan Baker a moment to call that a strike. And now the count's even at 2-2. Deep short. Cabrera knocks it down, throws to third, and not in time. That's an infield hit. Another multi-hit game for Martin.
This goes to the comments we make all the time, Chip, about if you put it in play, you got a chance to get on base and get a base hit. You don't have to swing for the fences. You just make good contact, solid contact, and some good things can happen. And another multi-hit game for Martin. Is that 4 in a row?
It's 43 in total.
In a row.
Well, Dan Uggla went deep with 2 outs in the 3rd inning. Let's see if Jason Hayward can drive home a 5th Braves run with 2 outs in this inning. He's been on base twice. He's walked, he's doubled, and he's scored. Ball got away from Hundley, and Prado nearly wandered too far off first. No throw from the catcher. All hands are safe. 1-0 the count. This inning started with a Brian McCann strikeout. Paul Janisch got hit by a pitch, moved to second on a wild pitch. Paul Maholm grounded to first. Fielder's choice by Alonso tried to nab Janisch at third. That play was late. Michael Bourne, an infield out, drove home a run. Prado, an infield hit. Now Jason Hayward, a 2-1 count.
We're in a 2-0 changeup, and Jason has the luxury of looking for another one here if he'd like. It's only 2-1 on the count, and he might double up on it. And he did, but he didn't make a very good pitch with it. And now 3-1 and a good hitter's count here.
Rifled right center field and deep. That's going to get down and get to the fence. 1 run scores. Prado around third. Here he comes. The throw goes to third. The ball is jumping off Jason Hayward's bat. Give him 2 more RBIs.
And another continuation of bad outings for Edinson Volquez, as that one was right down Broadway. And Jason stayed back, no stride, threw his hands out in front, and that ball jumped off his bat. And that will end the night for the Padres pitcher. And boy, has he been getting knocked around.
Edinson Volquez surrenders 6 runs in 3 innings and 2/3. And Jason Hayward's his responsibility too. All Atlanta in game 3 to this point. It's a 6-1 score. the Georgia Lottery, and by McDonald's. Great night at Turner Field in Atlanta, where the Braves enjoy a 6-1 lead and are still batting in the bottom of this 4th inning. Jason Hayward has had another big night. For more on that, let's check in with Tom Hart.
All right, thanks, Chip. You know, guys, he's having a tremendous season all the way around. 1 of 5 in the big leagues with 16 home runs and 16 stolen bases. Today on Braves Live, I asked Jason what he enjoys more, the power or the speed. He gave this great answer. He said, you know, I'm a young guy, but I'm still growing. The power is going to continue to come, and I imagine that's going to increase with my age. But the speed, it won't be there forever. So I'm getting the best out of it as I can now. And, guys, he was maybe a half a step from trying to stretch that one into a triple.
You're right, Tom, and he had maybe a chance at it, but the cardinal rule of not making the last out at third base probably crept into his head, and he thought, you know what, I've already driven in 2 here, and maybe Freddie can drive me in. But I like his answer to you. That was a great one. Use that speed while you can.
Miles Mikolas is on to pitch for San Diego. And he surrenders a high fly ball to deep center. Cameron Maben is back on the warning track and makes the catch to retire the side. The Braves add 3 more to their run total. 3 in the 3rd, 3 here in the 4th, and a 6-1 your score. Number 5. And here are our Jameson Inn upcoming starters as we wrap up this home series between the Braves and the San Diego Padres.
Jason Marquis coming off a good start. His last time out had a no-hitter for into the 7th inning, I think. And Chris Medlin, who has been brilliant in his starts.
So a big lead for Paul Maholm, who goes to work at the top of the San Diego order. This Denorfia was grounded out to second twice, takes a called strike. Braves are trying to hold serve in the East. Joe mentioned earlier that the Giants were beaten by Washington today. So at the moment, the Braves are 5 games back in the Eastern Division race. They can hold on tonight. They'll start play tomorrow, still 4.5 games out of first.
Yeah, they picked up a game last night when the Giants won. Nationals are off tomorrow, returning home, where they'll open up a weekend series at home with the Mets. While the Braves are playing the Padres tomorrow and then the Dodgers over the weekend.
So everybody in Braves country has special Joe Simpson dispensation to become a Mets fan this weekend.
No question.
Hasn't quite been able to get that pitch for a strike consistently tonight.
And it's been far enough off the plate inside that the hitters aren't going after it.
That one gets away, and it's ball 4, a leadoff walk. Hope you'll join us for the Braves Father-Daughter Day on Saturday, September 1st with the Phillies in town. Tickets start at $20 each and include a special Father-Daughter Day t-shirt as well as access to a pregame parade. Visit Braves.com/fatherdaughter for tickets.
Tough night for Edinson Volquez and his 4th straight start. It's been a little difficult. He's now allowed 21 earned runs in his last 13 2/3 innings.
And San Diego tonight has to dig out of a very deep hole, down 5 runs in the 5th inning. Forsythe from Braves country, born and raised and lives in Memphis, Tennessee. He was a supplemental round selection by the Padres in 2008, 46th pick overall in the draft that year. Played college ball at the University of Arkansas Fayetteville, where he hit .351 in his last year with the Razorbacks. Talking with Dave Roberts, their first base coach, about Logan Forsythe earlier in the series, and he said he really doesn't have a position yet. We've seen him at shortstop. He's played some second base, can probably play the outfield, a little third base if need be. And he might be doubled up. Ogler, the quick turn, and not in time at first. Braves get Denorfia. Headley hits with a man aboard and 1 out.
Yanish came in on this ball to try to get to it quicker, and in the process had a little bit of an in-between hop, but he handled it just fine. Forsythe got down the line too quick.
Chase Headley's 0 for 2. The player of the week in the National League.
Braves have cooled him off a little bit, at least since the first night of this series, and he's 2 for 9. Still hot. Having a great month of August.
Seven homers, 21 RBIs this month. And that's how to play to the right side. A lot of teams were after this guy's services at the trade deadline. The Padres held on to Chase Headley. And why not? He's only 28 years old and having a big year at the plate. Not this at bat though, as he chased a ball in the dirt and is struck out for out number 2.
And he's only at the end of the year going to have 4 years of service time too, so even with arbitration, they've got him under control for a couple more years before free agency. Chased a bad one there. Here's
Carlos Quentin. Mentioned on Monday night, Quentin's a Stanford man. And drives this ball into right field. Heading for third. And making it safely is Forsythe. And San Diego has them at the corners with 2 outs. 2-hit game for Carlos Quentin.
And you get a look at the speed of Logan Forsythe and why he was able to avoid that double play. He was flying around second.
Here's Yonder Alonso. Swing and a miss.
I think they've figured out a little bit about Alonso, and that is he is a first pitch fastball guy and wants something to pull, and he's been chasing some breaking balls on the first pitch and still trying to pull them.
Trying to think this whole series who he reminds me of physically at the plate, and the name Matt Stairs comes to mind.
Yeah, built about the same.
That evens the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
See if he comes back with that breaking ball again to get him to chase again.
Not been an easy night for Maholm. He has 1-1-2-3 inning, and that was the very first inning of the game. Padres left the bases loaded in the 4th. They have 2 on here in the 5th, and they leave them on. 6 strikeouts for Maholm. He protects a 6-1 lead.
Last, and that came off the bat of Dan Ugla. In the 3rd inning, 2 out, 2 on. Edson Volquez tried to throw this fastball by him at the letters. For Dan, his 15th homer, and it erased a 1-0 Padres lead just like that. Made it 3-1. Braves added 3 more in the 4th.
It's now 6-1. That's the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast.
And look who's at the ballpark tonight. The skipper, Bobby Cox.
I wonder if the players, when they were at the plate, he was sitting right behind home plate, was, going, come on, Prod, giving everybody a little cheer. Come on, Jace.
Pretty good chance. One ball, one strike. And Nicholas misses his way upstairs. This kid made his major league debut May 4th against the Marlins.
Yeah, he probably gave up a home run to Giancarlo Stanton, too, the first batter he faced.
Another walk for Dan Uggla. Second time Dan has walked tonight. Again, he leads the National League in bases on balls.
This guy throws hard. Mid-90s fastball. Good curveball that he sailed over the top of Dan's head. Has a changeup on occasion, too, but mostly fastball, curveball.
He's a Florida kid out of Jupiter, Florida. And had some closing experience in his early days as a professional. 13 saves with Fort Wayne in 2010. 21 saves last year between Lake Elsinore and San Antonio. Slip double play turned by the Padres. That erases Uggla and Francisco. 2 are out.
Got some news that's a little disturbing on a start tonight by Jair Jurgens for Gwinnett. He left the game in the 3rd inning after having thrown 43 pitches. He'd given up a couple of hits and a walk, 3 runs, but he left the game with dizziness after 43 pitches.
Liner by McCann, foul. Strike 1. JJ's season has turned on a dime a couple of different ways and a couple of different times. Remember his first start against the Red Sox in Boston? Brilliant. Many of us were hoping, okay, maybe he started to turn the corner and would be able to stay in rotation. Sadly for JJ, it hasn't worked out, and as Joe mentioned, an early exit tonight.
Hopefully he's okay. I was just thinking about Matt Diaz and sitting in the hospital room tonight watching the ball game. He's probably got that little button he can push anytime that pain gets to be a little too much. So he was probably with us in the 1st inning and then maybe in the 3rd and came back and wanted to know what happened at 6-1.
Well, should we go ahead and fill him in? 3-run homer for Uggla in the 3rd. A 2-run double for Jason Hayward in the 4th.
But we hope he's resting comfortably.
That got Brian on the way by. Heard him say ow.
I'm just glad it missed a knee. It could have gotten either one of them, but I think it glanced off his thigh, back thigh. At 94, 95, whatever that was, on the knee, it would have been a different result.
Well, if he wants to go visit Matt after the game, maybe Diaz can offer him some of those meds to make the leg feel better. Here's Giannis. Scorched toward third. Nice pickup by Headley. And that will retire the side. On to the 6th. Big lead for Atlanta. To the 6th inning. Time for Joe to get another AT&T Uverse trivia question answered correctly.
Oh, I'm all over it. I really am confident in my pick of Ron Gant. Last guy to record a season with at least 40 stolen bases and 60 RBIs.
Part of me wants to say Dale Murphy, but I don't know if he got to 40. So you stick with Gant. I'll say Murph.
I'm going to have to go to the book.
Gerald Perry is the answer tonight.
Dave Baker told me that Ron Gant's high in stolen bases was 34.
Never in a million years would I've gotten to Gerald Perry. I don't remember him being.
I didn't know he had that kind of speed.
Right.
I knew he could hit.
Cameron Maben starts off the 6th. And a ground ball to short. Giannis charges, throws on the run. Close play, but Maben's out.
No room for error there. You got to charge hard. You got to glove it on the run and make a good throw on the run to get a fast runner. Good play again. Chopped right in front of the plate. In between hop too. No problem. And an accurate throw. Paul Giannis at his best.
One error in 263 innings with the Braves. Here's Cabrera, who's walked twice. And down a quick strike. Just past 9 o'clock. San Diego scored the game's first run on a Logan Forsythe solo homer. The Braves responded with 3 in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. Maholm's been very effective again tonight with 6 strikeouts. He scattered 4 hits. The Padres have stranded 7 base runners so far tonight. That's that low strike that hasn't been called a time or two tonight, it appeared.
Well, he's a real tall umpire, and I don't know if that's part of it or not. But there's been some pitches at the bottom of the zone he is not given. They can give us some fair or foul rulings if we need one down the right field line.
Now it's 3-2. Again to short. Again a fast runner. Again a strong throw from Giannis. 2 outs. And fans, don't miss this week's Steal of the Week. For just $18, get a terrace view seat for the August 31st through September 2nd games and a special Chipper Jones collectible program highlighting his historic career. You'll save up to $27 off the regular price. Visit Braves.com/steal tonight.
Great deals abound here at the ballpark. Ticket prices and levels for every budget. Wonderful places to sit, just like those outfield pavilion seats that we just showed you from down the left field line.
That's a foul ball at third.
You get an outfield seat for as low as $16. And upper box seats as low as $10. I mean, it's just hard to beat this time of year to come in and take in a game during what looks like is going to be a great race and postseason run for the Braves.
And a very special year. I mean, after tonight, you have 20 opportunities in regular season to play to see a future Hall of Famer, Chipper Jones, wear a Braves uniform. 20 home games left for Chipper Jones. So we hope you'll join us at the ballpark for the rest of this homestand and that aforementioned special as we move into September 2012.
Career, the Braves have developed a set of 4 commemorative prints highlighting key milestones in his Hall of Fame career. The first limited edition print series presented by SunTrust will be given out to fans Friday versus the Dodgers. Call 1-800-745-3600 or visit Braves.com/tickets today. I'm overflowing with Chipper Jones memorabilia. Here's the first of the 4 prints. And by the way, tomorrow night, the Chipper Jones bobblehead, complete with the off-white uniforms. If you want to get yours, this is tomorrow night in the first print. is Friday, and it's a first of 4. This is his rookie year, world champions, and goes all the way to 2012. 4 great prints, and they will line Chip Cary's office. I know they will.
No doubt about it, Tom. Thank you very much. As Paul Maholm starts the Atlanta 6th, and he drives the ball sharply to right. And a leaping grab out there by Denorfia is the inning's first out.
Well, Tom, it'd be about time for Chip to take down those Marcus Giles wallpaper he's got in his office. So that'll be a nice replacement.
Listen, I have a wife who's very happy to do interior design. Don't need yours or Laser Baker's help. Thank you very much. Here's Michael. But we've got great promotions coming up. We've got a ball club that's playing terrific baseball. Still a chance to chase down the Nationals. 6 games head-to-head with Washington, including 3 dates here at home in September. Braves do not have a schedule with a lot of winning teams left, so really good opportunities to take advantage of that slate down the stretch. As that one's off the pitcher's glove and bobbled at second, but recovered nicely by Forsythe. But I'll go back, fellas, to what I said a moment ago. You don't have many opportunities to watch Hall of Fame players play.
Nope.
And 20 games left at home for Chipper Jones.
And those weekends that are left after this weekend, you got the Dodgers in and the big civil rights weekend. That's wonderful, a wonderful occasion, but it's the Dodgers. They're tied for first, or we're going into play today. And then the following weekend series after that, beginning in September, are the Phillies, and then in the middle of the month the Nationals, and at the end of the month the Mets. And that will be the last weekend at home for Chipper. So those are great teams to come watch play, because there's going to be a lot on the line.
I love how the baseball fates work. How fitting is it that the last home game that Chipper potentially could play would be against the New York Mets?
Yeah, that's great.
So if you haven't made your plans, we hope you'll join us. One more with the Padres here tomorrow night. Then, as Joe said, the Dodgers in for the Civil Rights Weekend. And a critically important road trip that starts in Washington, goes west to San Francisco, and finishes up with the San Diego Padres. In the air to shallow right. That'll drop in front of Denorfia. A 3-hit game for Martin Prado. He seems to have broken out of his little mini slump.
He has climbed back up over 300 where he belongs. The Dodgers picked up 2 of the 3 players that the Phillies let go during the trading deadline and waiver period, with Joe Blanton and Shane Victorino going to the Dodgers. Hunter Pence went to the Giants. You know that the Phillies record since then was 9-5 before today. They got thumped pretty good by the Marlins.
Pop fly, foul, third base side for Jason, strike one.
But they're now 9-6 without those guys, because they've been getting some real good pitching prior to today.
And today I think it was Roy Halladay.
It was, and it was a close game when he came out of the ball game and wound up 9-2 Fish. Mark Burley won that game for Miami, and I believe it was his 9th or 10th attempt to win his 10th game, and he finally got it.
He wins 10 every year, doesn't he?
Well, this one he had to work extra hard to finally get it.
That's foul past first. Jason behind in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pair of doubles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored for Hayward, who's also walked in the game.
And the great thing is 1 double was to right center and 1 was to left field.
So Martin Prado, who's earned his 7th 3-hit game of the season tonight, he'll get a running start on a full count pitch to Jason Hayward. And Hayward pulls it foul. We'll do it again. Dodgers are winning tonight. Speaking of Los Angeles, beating Pittsburgh 8-2. Pirates are sliding just a little bit. They've lost 6 of their last 9 games or thereabouts. They just have to keep an eye on both Dodgers and Pirates for the wild card at the moment.
And St. Louis, who's not going away.
And Hayward takes ball 4. He's on base for the 4th time tonight. 2 on, 2 outs, and here's Freddie Freeman. And don't be surprised, folks, if it goes down to the final weekend with the Braves in Pittsburgh against the Pirates. 4 teams within 4 games. Arizona still has a shot in the West as well. They're 5.5 games out of first place for their division.
And remember, the top 2 teams in the wild card race go into a 1-game playoff to advance to the division series.
Strike 1 to Freddie Freeman, who has scored a run tonight. That came ahead of Dan Uggla's 3rd inning homer. Popped up left side. Headley near the stands will make the play. And that retires the Braves in the home half of the 6th inning. But it's still a 6-1 Braves lead. our McDonald's fan of the game on a beautiful baseball night at Turner Field.
Love the hats, ladies. Donning their Braves red. They got a little sparkle farkle working tonight.
And here's a scary sight. Joe has shoes to match.
You judging?
No. I'm jealous, quite frankly. You've seen my shoe choices. Really good call. Here's Alexi Amarista pinch hitting in the San Diego 7th.
How do you know they light up on the way to the parking lot?
And quickly 0-2. Very effective performance by Paul Maholm tonight. 1 run, 4 hits. Not as crisp, not as clean as his last start. But he's in good position to win another game for the Braves tonight.
And again, mixing and matching, in and out, up and down, dropping the arm angle down on occasion to lefties, as he just did to Amarista.
Braves bullpen begins to work as Maholm's reached 101 pitches. Slow roller hit towards second. Uggla gets rid of it quickly. Good play. Braves have done a real good job in this series of recognizing the speed of these Padres batter runners.
Yeah, it's been work tonight for Paul versus the groove he was in against the Mets. As you pointed out, only one 1-2-3 inning. That was the first. He got a chance. Well, he had it again in the 6th with a couple of ground outs. So this could be his 3rd one tonight. But those middle innings, a lot of pitches, a lot of base runners, left the bases loaded in the 4th, getting a couple of strikeouts from the bottom of the order when he needed them.
That's one of the things about a veteran pitcher too. When you don't necessarily have your A stuff, you can still be competitive, and in this case for Maholm, win without your A repertoire. And Logan Forsythe continues his good night. That's his 2nd hit, and it comes with 2 outs.
It seems like now it's just a matter of how long Freddie wants to go with him, how many pitches. He's at 105. He's got Durbin ready in the pen if he needs him. His pitch count with Atlanta, 84 in 7 innings against Houston, and 95 pitches in the 3-hit shutout complete game. But prior to that, in 4 starts with the Cubs, 101, 106, 110, and 116.
No balls and a strike to Chase Headley. Johnny Venters has begun to warm as well as this ball's drilled deep left. But Martine's got it. I'll step onto the warning track. 7 very effective innings for Paul Maholm. 6 runs don't hurt either, and he leads by a 6-1 score.
and the coal train. How about this play? Nifty piece of base running here. Ground ball by the pitcher to first base. Paul Janisch looks like he's hung out to dry, but his good hustle gets in there. And our freeze cam shows that Marvin Hudson, the third base umpire, got it right. Tag dropped on him after his hand had already gotten in there. Good call by Marvin Hudson. That was the Coors Light freeze cam, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light.
Young right-hander Corey Burns takes over for San Diego. He's out of Glendale, Arizona. Was acquired by San Diego in a deal with the Cleveland Indians last December.
Little different delivery. Sinker, slider, changeup guy.
Got a little Levon Hernandez, doesn't he? Turns the back to the hitter.
A little bit. So far, his first 2 games since he got called up, not so good. 3 innings, 3 runs, and 7 hits, 5 walks. That's not Levon like.
Swing and a miss. Dan strikes out and is 1 for 2. That hit, though, a big one. Turned the game around for Atlanta. They trailed 1-0, and he touched off a 3-run blast. One for 3 night for Juan Francisco. He's got 12 hits in his last 29 at bats. He started games for the Braves. He's hit around 280.
280 with damage. 7 homers, 23 RBIs in 32 starts coming in.
There's some damage. It's to left center. Two doubles for Francisco tonight.
Yeah, he's a big guy, and he doesn't give you the impression that that he moves real well because he's so big, especially in his lower half. You know, big legs, big backside, but he runs pretty well. A lot better than I certainly give him credit for. And his second double tonight.
And continuing the comparison theme, bodied kind of like Pablo Sandoval, perhaps. Maybe not as big as Pablo.
Yeah, he's a little trimmer than Pablo. Although Sandoval's lost some weight this year, in a lot better shape than he's been.
And he's gotten in better shape.
Mm-hmm.
One ball, 1 strike for Brian McCann.
For Brian, this is an area where he'd like to improve the last 6 weeks of the season. Just 2 for his last 25 with a man in scoring position, and 172 on the year. Those are not McCann-like numbers. But like he has done here in the last 3 or 4 weeks to start swinging the bat better, that number can change too. Nine homers and 22 RBIs in his last 29 games.
he go? He did go around. And Bryan is the second out.
Chased a breaking ball, bounced on the plate. He knew he went. After the call was made, he was just hoping that Marvin Hudson was looking the other way.
No such luck.
No, this time.
Giannis now with 2 outs. Ball, no strikes.
You look at that line, if you just tuned in, you say, okay, 0 for 2, and he's right at 200. He got hit by a pitch. Okay. Well, when he got hit by the pitch, that was the start of a 1-out rally for the Braves. It got 3 on the board in the 4th. But he also, his last time up, hit a bolt, 1 hopper that Headley made a great play on to get a force out. He's made 2 or 3 good plays again in the field.
He's way ahead. 3 balls, no strikes. Eric Hinsky's grabbed a bat. He would hit for Paul Maholm if Giannis can keep the inning alive. Headley again. That ball was a screamer, and somehow he hung with it and threw out Giannis to retire the side. Not much hitting luck for Giannis tonight. The Braves in business as we head to the 8th. As we head to the 8th inning on our Blimpie game summary, that'll tell you why.
That'll start with Paul Maholm, too. Another terrific outing. 7 innings, 5 hits, just 1 run. That came on a home run in the 3rd inning. And then Dan Uggla turned the game around with a 3-run homer in that same inning, the 3rd inning, to give the Braves the lead. And they haven't looked back. Good nights for Martin Prado and Jason Hayward.
So the AT&T call to the bullpen is made to right-hander Chad Durbin. He'll try to protect this 6-1 lead. A lead, Joe, that's been a rare thing for Paul Maholm against the Padres and teams against the National League West.
Yeah, he came in only 5-22 career-wise against the National League West, so this is a good thing, and it would be, if the Braves can hang on here, it would be his first win ever against San Diego.
And Durbin in the 8th will have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up for San Diego. It'll start with Carlos Quentin who's doubled, has been hit by a pitch and has singled. And a strike to Quentin. Don't think he liked the call.
These guys put up some big numbers at times. When he was with the White Sox, 2008, 36 homers, 100 RBIs. He had 288. But injuries have kind of cut into full seasons for him since then. That's why I'm sure Bud Black was happy, and fans in San Diego were happy to see him get signed to a 3-year contract extension to keep him in San Diego for a while.
Three-year, $27 million contract was what was published for Quentin's extension. The question I have is, he's an outfielder. He's going to play left field. I assume he could play some right field too. Petco Park is a big outfield. With his history of leg injuries, will he stay healthy enough to be able to play 130, 140 games a year for the next 3 years?
They're counting on that.
Quentin reaches with a leadoff walk. It's time for tonight's Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Great work by the Braves bullpen.
Since July 3rd, so well over a month, leading Major League Baseball in that category. Padres doing a good job too. Their pitching's been pretty good all year long for San Diego. Just the lack of offense has hurt them.
No balls and a strike to Yonder Alonso. Out of play, foul. It's 0-2. To your point about lack of offense, last year San Diego was shut out 19 times. Last night was the 10th time they were shut out. That's still an issue for Bud Black's ball club. Slow roller towards short. Ungler will try to turn it, and he will turn it.
That was a good turn, despite the fact that Giannis was kind of leaning to his left when this play started and had to recover to go back to his right. Good job by Dan there to avoid the slide too. Wipes out that walk, which is something the Braves pitching staff has done a good job of controlling too. No walks in the first game of this series. Last night just 2, and tonight there'd been 4. But both Maholm and now Durbin have pitched around them.
Maben with a 1-for-3 night has an even count. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Francisco knocks it down, recovers, throws, and late at first. Infield hit.
Good try by Juan here on a very hard hit ball. Crossover step to try to get over there and just off his glove. And with a fast runner, he didn't have much of a chance to get Maben.
So Cameron's at first with 2 outs. Here's Cabrera, who's walked twice and grounded out to short. Maben's running, and he'll take second without a play. No stolen base. That's ruled defensive indifference. And now 2-2.
Padres will be home to start a homestand Friday night, but they play here tomorrow night, fly home, and then play Friday at home against the Giants, who will have a day off tomorrow.
Swing and a miss by Cabrera. And Durbin is out of the 8th inning. 6-1. Atlanta leads in game 3.
For our Home Depot tools from the dugout, and what Jason Hayward did tonight was use the whole field. That's using everything that's available to you, going to the opposite field for that double, then ripping this one into right center field to plate a couple of runs. That's using all your tools. Good job by Jason. 2 for 2, 2 doubles, 2 walks tonight, and 2 RBIs.
So he's had a good night, as has that man, Dan Uggla. So Atlanta looking for more now in the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-1. The Braves lead it, and they'll take a look at right-hander Brad Brock. He's the 4th San Diego pitcher to work tonight. This kid's one of those San Diego arms, Joe, that's had a very solid 2012 season.
Yeah, check it out. 54 strikeouts in 45 innings for this guy, and just a .223 average against him. He's low to mid 90s with his fastball, has a good slider and an occasional split finger pitch.
While fans around the game may get caught up in wins and losses and saves and save chances, another important stat for a relief guy is the first batter faced. You'll always start off with a clean inning like Brock has now against Eric Hinske, but Brock has retired 33 of his first 44 first batters.
It's good
this
work.
Season. Made short work of Eric Hinske for the first out. In fact, that number for Brad Brock is 3rd among all big leaders as far as percentage is concerned. It's allowed just 6% of his inherited runners to score all year. And first batter is pretty effective too. He's a good looking youngster. One away, top of the order, Michael Bourne.
Throws across his body, throws hard. That's the first ball he's thrown so far. Threw some good sliders to Hinske.
Michael, a good job at the top of the order tonight. Has singled, has driven home a run, and is now ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Strike 3 over the outside corner. Coming up on Braves Live, presented by AT&T, we'll hear from Freddie Gonzalez as he talks about Game 3 of the series. We'll have sound from the locker room, all of our highlights. Hope to have a fine interview from Tom Hart as well. Stick around for Braves Live, presented by AT&T. Brock's out of Freehold, New Jersey, and was a 42nd round pick.
I'd say that was a bargain. He's not messing around. Heading to that strikeout total. Just pounding the zone.
Wow, I'll say.
Ooh, what an inning.
We saw that movie last night as well from a young San Diego reliever. 6-1's our scores. We head to the 9th inning.
game going to the bottom half of the third inning, 1-0. When with 2 out, our Toyota play of the game occurred. Dan Uggla getting on top of a high, hard fastball from Edinson Volquez. And for Dan, his 15th homer of the year, and that turned the game around. Made it 3-1. The Braves went on to add 3 more in the fourth. 6-1 Braves.
And 3 outs to get for a 2-1 series lead against San Diego. Corey Guerin's the man answering the AT&T call to the bullpen. And he will face Nick Hundley, a pinch hitter. Looks like Will Venables grabbed a bat. And then Chris DeNorfia for the Padres. Microscopic ERA for Corey Guerin, who's pitching for the 12th time here in Atlanta. Ball, 1 strike. Slow roller toward third. Juan's got it. And a good throw retires the catcher for the first out in the inning. Will be Will Venable now with the bases clear in the 9th.
Padres, when they trail after 8, only 2 wins, 2 comeback wins from the 9th inning on. They're 2-59.
Nothing in 2. That man starts tomorrow night.
Chris, don't call me Craig Medlin.
Jason Marquis, the former Brave, will pitch for the Padres.
We have a little hard time seeing the signs. There's the former Brave. Ow. Welcome to the game, Mr. Venable. Just wanted you to feel a part of it tonight since you've been watching for 8 1/3 innings. A little something to take back to the hotel with you.
Did he foul that off his back leg?
Yeah.
How do you do that? Rolled towards second. And Freeman got to the bag in time. 1 more out to get. And Chris DeNorfia is the San Diego hitter. DeNorfia has 3 ground ball outs tonight. He also has walked. As mentioned earlier tonight, he's the 3rd different leadoff man San Diego has used in this series. And he went around strike 1. Northia buckled on that pitch. Bouncing ball to Freeman. He'll take it to the bag himself, and the Braves have beaten the Padres by a final score of 6-1. Big offensive nights tonight for Dan Uggla and Jason Hayward, and Paul Maholm in the win column again for Atlanta, and for the first time in his career against the San Diego Padres. That's your final line score. Back to wrap it up from Turner Field after this.